So I don't know what's going on, but I think it might have something to do with the lawsuit. And I think I saw that in one of the articles that many of the staffers of CNN, anchors, different people in different departments, some that we know, um, have been laid off. So CNN lays off hundreds of staffers. Read the memo. So CNN had about 4,400 employees, and so the layoffs affected hundreds of staffers, but amounted to a single-digit percentage of staff. So there's multiple articles, and there's also news talking about the layoffs because there's so many people and notable people that were laid off from CNN. So CNN lays off hundreds of staffers after business review. Read the memo. CNN laid off hundreds of staffers as part of a broader Warner Brothers Discovery effort to cut the cost. So CNN CEO Chris Licht sent a memo to remaining staffers after the cut. So fewer than 400 jobs were cut, according to a person familiar with this matter. So I may not be saying his last name correct, but his first name is Chris. He's the chairman and CEO of CNN Worldwide. Speaks on stage during the Warner Brothers Discovery Upfront 2022 show. It was at a theater at Madison Square Gardens. This was May 18, 2022 in New York. So they show a photo of him, and you can't see that. Right now, the picture you're probably looking at is one of the staff that was with Fox. And I'm hearing that Tucker Carlson is his name. He's a right-wing. He's usually on Fox, and he has his own show there. And he's usually conservative and right-wing, and usually involved in Trump activities. And put it like that. So CNN, they had 4,400 employees, so the layoffs affected hundreds of staffers, but it amounted to a single-digit percentage of staff, according to a person familiar with the matter, who was not authorized to speak publicly about it. And so that would mean that no more than 400 staffers were let go. And so Licht sent a memo to all the staffers Thursday afternoon after the news was delivered to employees, which included a longtime HLN anchor Robin Meade and reporter Chris Cillizza. Licht wrote in a memo that he will hold a town hall meeting next week to answer any questions. So Licht's cuts are part of a broader effort at Warner Brothers Discovery, the parent company of CNN, to cut costs heading into 2023. And so there was a letter that was sent to the staff, and it basically, I guess it pretty much outlined what I was saying. It's an explanation to staff for the layoffs. So it has something to do with cutting costs. And wow, anytime it's hitting the people that you know well on television, then it is something to think about, because you usually see a lot of this happening with, jobs that aren't as highly publicized, are jobs where you don't really know the people. You don't know my face. So, I'm looking at the message that was left here. So there's a lengthy message. Um, Let me see, where is it from? I believe it is from, it's from Lich. And so I'm not gonna read it. You guys can read it when you want it. But Tucker Carlson, he also, now I'm gonna switch because there were Fox people laid off as well. Now, I'm not a big fan of Tucker Carlson. I know some people may watch his show and maybe they like what he says, but I don't. I'm just going to be real. So, Fox News Media, Tucker Carlson have agreed to part ways, the network said in a statement released by a spokesperson. We thank him for his service to the network as a host and prior to that as a contributor. So, Fox said that Carlson's last day hosting his show was on Friday, April the 21st. So, I see an article in NPR say Tucker Carlson ousted Fox News amid the lawsuit alleging sexism. So, who knows if that might have something to do with it. Now, why is he saying that now that they're letting him go? I don't know. No, I already knew that Fox News, it seems to be like right wing and conservative, and most of the people that usually are on there, if they don't have a special segment for something else, if it's about politics, it usually leans towards the right. So that's what it seems like. It caters to that environment. And it says Tucker Carlson was blindsided by Fox News firing. He was blindsided, the primetime star who was recently negotiating his contract renewal in through all the way to 2029. Well, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be looking for a new spot somewhere. But, I'm sure he has fans or people that listen to him. And so he'll probably have some other show that will come up. I'm sure, I don't think that it is completely over for. I'm not crazy about him, but I don't think it's over for Tucker Carlson. As long as you got right wing people on TV and this is like an election year, so I mean there are people who are like Trump inspired that are running for president. Trump himself is running for president again. I think Biden might be running, but I'll just say this: he's got his work cut out for him because he's got a lot of dragons to fight. Let's put it that way. It looks like there's going to be some stiff competition because there's so many individuals that are inspired by Trump. I think by him also getting riled up and them riling people up about him being arrested, that's just gonna make his campaign grow by them doing that, So I believe his slogan, Trump's slogan, is "Make America Great Again." But I think there's again. I don't know. I don't know. It's something like that. But I saw it somewhere. I'm like, oh no, not this again. But yeah, they're not stopping. So this is not a really a surprise. The way the economy has been, it's been hitting everybody's pockets. But so it's been a while since I've been on here doing any videos at all. But okay, why did Fox News fire Tucker Carlson? What we know. So why did they fire him? Let's find out. I am reading to find out why he was let go. Revelations from recent lawsuits may have led to his sudden downfall. So it's like what I was hinting around. I don't know if you heard me when I was reading something said that he ousted Fox News for being sexist. I think that already happened long before Tucker Carlson said anything, because there was like women. They would always hire like the blonde women would always be doing the news reporting, and there was like a pattern of women that they looked similar, or their hair color looked similar, and they were reporting, and then they had made claims that there were people doing things they shouldn't do that were inappropriate, and so that happened like some years ago, not that long ago though. And so the sexism, that's not something new. So Fox News released a statement on Monday morning that shocked the world of media and politics. Tucker Carlson is leaving the network, effective immediately, so no reason was given for the abrupt firing of the highest rated cable news host. So not long thereafter, news broke that also Don Lemon, the CNN were going their separate ways. Below are a latest update on what we know about Carlson's big exit. Carlson had found out on Monday morning and wasn't told why he was fired. So a Fox News source told New York's Shaw McCreesh that Fox News CEO Suzanne Scott and LaChalyn Murdoch made the decision to fire Carlson on Friday, so he didn't find out until Monday morning, Vanity Fair's Gabriel Sherman adds. So on Monday morning, Fox News CEO Suzanne Scott called Carlson and informed him that he was being taken off the air and his Fox News email account was shut off, according to the source brief on the conversation. So Carlson was stunned by his sudden ouster from his 8 p.m. show, the most watched program in cable's news last month. So Carlson was in the midst of negotiating a renewal contract with the Fox News channel and through all the way to 2029. So the source said this. So as of last week, Carlson had told people he expected the contract to be renewed. So Carlson has told people that he doesn't know why he was terminated, and according to the source, Scott refused to tell him how the decision was made, so she only said that it was made from above. And Carlson has told people that he believes his controversial show is being taken off the air because the Murdoch children intend to sell Fox News. at some point. So, according to the Wall Street Journal, Carlson heard the news only 10 minutes before Fox announced it publicly, and the network plans to pay out the remainder of its current contract, last renewed in 2021, which amounts to $20 million per year. So a person close to Fox leadership commented to Semaphore, "This is just classic Murdoch assassination. So you're their closest friend, their favorite child, and now you're dead." Carlson has reportedly already hired entertainment lawyer Brian Friedman, who has been representing ousted CNN host Chris Cuomo. Revelations from recent lawsuits may have led to the ouster, so Carlson's departure comes less than a week after Fox News settled a defamation lawsuit with Dominion Voting Systems, and in the middle of an ongoing lawsuit filed by former producer Abby Grossberg, who worked on Carlson's show, so citing a person familiar with the company, thinking the Washington Post reports that it was Carlson's comments about Fox management, as revealed in the Dominion case, that played a role in his departure. So a Post cited two such exchanges. So do the executives understand how much credibility and trust we've lost with our audience? So Carlson wrote to a colleague in a message a day after, like the other media outlets called the election for Joe Biden, it was a sentiment echoed by others at Fox in the fall of 2020, as even network officials who disbelieved Trump's election fraud conspiracy theories fretted that the countering them strongly would alienate their conservative viewers. So, in another message, Carlson referred to management with an expletive. "Those efforts are destroying our credibility." So he later wrote, "A combination of incompetent liberals and top leaderships with too much pride to back down is what's happening." So during discovery for the case, multiple texts were made public revealing that Carlson loved Donald Trump behind the scenes, while he praised and then president in public. So in an apparent effort to mend fences, Carlson interviewed Trump earlier this month. Carlson's position after the 2020 election put him at odds with most of the rest of Fox News, which was distancing itself from the presidential loser. So a Vanity Fair Brian Stelter reports that the texts we've seen weren't the only private messages unearthed by the Dominion lawsuit. So hundreds of pages of emails and text messages from within Fox were published in Dominion pre-trial legal filings, but there is a huge number of other pages that remain out of the public view. So the redactions were voluminous. So only 3 groups of people know what those pages contain: Dominion's lawyers, Fox top executives, and obviously the people who were sending and receiving messages as well. So what was Carlson saying about, say, Fox News Media CEO Susan Scott? So what was he texting about Murdoch's? And we don't know, we may never know. So the LA Times reports, however, that Grossberg's claims, rather than a Dominion revelation, were the main factor of Carlson's termination. Per the Times, it was Rupert Murdoch himself who made the call to axe Carlson. So people familiar with this situation who were not authorized to comment publicly said the decision to fire Tucker Carlson came straight from the Fox Corporation chairman, Rupert Murdoch, with input from board members and other Fox Corp executives. So Carlson's exit is related to a discrimination lawsuit filed by Abby Grossberg, the producer fired by the network last month, the sources said. So Murdoch also said to be concerned about Carlson's coverage of January 6, 2021 insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. The host has promoted the conspiracy theory that it was provoked by government agents. And so in a pair of lawsuits against Fox News, Grossberg alleged that the network's lawyers had attempted to make her one of the scapegoats for the Dominion case and claimed widespread misogyny and discrimination at the company, detailing specific allegations against Carlson's team. So in her federal court filing, Grossberg described the work environment of Carlson's show as one that subjugates women based on vile sexist stereotypes, as well as typecasts religious minorities and belittles their traditions. So on Grossberg's second day of work, Justin Wells, a senior producer, asked her if her previous, and I'm reading this, boss Maria Bartiromo had ever had sex with Kevin McCarthy. So the Republican House Speaker Grossberg said her colleagues joked about the attractiveness of women politicians, and in one instance recounted hearing one of the co-workers call a Republican congresswoman that, and implied that she only got her job by sleeping with her predecessors. So Grossberg alleges that she was personally discriminated against for being Jewish and witnessed offensive remarks about Jewish people, and she recalls Alexander McCaskill, her direct supervisor at the time, signaling out an Israel colleagues, admonishing him to other co-workers for taking time off for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, when those are observed holidays, Jewish holidays. So when that same employee visited a Jewish bakery for lunch, McCaskill joked that the man went to the Jew bakery, and that's coming from the article, not from me. I'm sorry. So to see his people. And so Wells was terminated alongside Carlson, Semaphor's report. So in a statement responding to Carlson's firing, Grossberg called the move a step towards accountability for the election lies and the baseless conspiracy theories spread by Fox News, and as well as for the abuse and harassment I endured, she says. So a third Carlson-linked legal headache was looming for the network, and so a potential defamation lawsuit by former U.S. Marine Ray Epps, an attendee of the January 6th insurrection. Carlson has insinuated that Epps was a government agent working to sow violence at the demonstration turned riot that day at the U.S. Capitol. So the night before Carlson was fired, Epps said the Fox News host was going to any means possible to destroy my life and our lives during an appearance on 60 Minutes. So a TV character who exploited the worst impulses of the American right. And so it goes on and on and on. Carlson's career defies parody and challenges analysis because it has always been laid bare. So Carlson's inherited the fake populist shtick used by Bill O'Reilly and honed into something like performance art. So he ranted conspiratorially about them laying sinister plots in their opulent liars against us, and the Carlson version of the character was a campy, scenery chewing performer who exceeded O'Reilly in every way, so the high-pitched squeals and goofy facial expressions were the superficial expressions, so the deeper and more sinister aspect of Carlson's success was his realization that his audience craved racist and nativist resentment in higher doses than his predecessors had been able to supply. So read the rest of John's response to the news of Carlson's firing here. So Fox News staffers were shocked too. Per the Post, one unnamed staffer said that we're just learning of this like everyone else. So that's crazy. So a lot of them are just learning that they've lost their job or career. So, or that career with that company. So this is major. So it sends a message that even the guy with the highest ratings of all, by a long shot, doesn't get to survive this disaster. So they aren't the only ones making that point. And so there are people that left a lot of comments on Twitter and different social media sites about the firing and laying off of multiple staffers at these companies like Fox and CNN and whomever other companies that have laid off as well. So how Fox News broke the news on TV. So it goes on. It goes into a whole nother spiel as to why this. So you got a good dose of why this happened, I'm sure, by what I just pretty much put out there. And so it says, why did Fox News fire Tucker Carlson? So I think I gave you the 411. So it seems like it's a mixed bag of stuff. I thought it had something to do with that lawsuit, the Dominion lawsuit. And then they're saying that he had conspiracy theories that he floated with during that Trump era, which has not really went away. I will say that the Trumpism is still there, and it can rear its ugly head all over again because he's running for 2024. And so this is like an election. This is part of it, a year where people are getting all revved up. They're going on these campaign trails, Trump notables and Trump himself, and they have been getting prepared so that they can get reelected or elected for the first time. And so even DeSantis from Florida, the governors, I feel like that's the reason why they do and say the things that they do, the governors, because they're hoping that you can vote for them again. So a lot of times the more outrageous, the more, more political hot button topics that they can debate on and come up with their version of how they think something should be, conducted, then that'll build all their fans, or I'll say with all their supporters. I said fans. That too. I feel like some people are like, like fans, political fan. There's a political fan base that they want to attract, a certain audience that they want to attract. So that's how Tucker Carlson, he got the high ratings by saying the most outrageous comments, whether it be about race issues, a person's, gender issues, social issues that seem to be, real debatable topics. The more that he talks about those, and he has the people come to his show or visit so that they can comment on whatever it is. I feel like that those are the topics that people want to hear. They want to hear the arguing and the debating, so that they'll vote for these individuals, or the ratings will go higher for their shows. And sort of like what the article was saying, it's like a sort of form of art. You have to attract a certain audience and give them what it is that they're looking for, the satisfaction they're looking for, in order to get, you know, your high ratings, and to be able to keep your show running even more successful. And I feel like that's the way these videos are with social media. Sometimes it takes like maybe the right video. Somebody might say something or do something in the video, or maybe they mention something that's important, and then it draws in the people that they have similar, like, you know, I would say similar beliefs. So that's probably why his show had the ratings that it did. But now, we'll see where he's going to go now. So we shall see.